Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for being you. Thanks for being here on this Thursday, the 10th of April. Go ahead and smash that like button, smash the subscribe button on your way in. Ring my bell, ring my bell, so you can get notified next time I upload a video and become part of the beautiful curvy community that we're growing over here in the YouTube streets. That was not Ashley Darby, that was me. Don't you love creativity? Don't you love sharing your talent? Don't you love shining this light of mine? I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So can we get it up for grateful? Some gratitude claps. Yes, I used to love Spirit Week in school where our side had to scream louder than their side. Our side had to clap louder than their side. Our side had to stomp louder than their side. Guess who always helped the most? Me. That's right. That's right. To this day, people turn around to me at concerts. They're like, bitch, can you not clap so loud? I'm like, nope, can't not clap so loud. They're like, can you not scream like you're dying? I'm like, nope, can't not scream like that. Nope. I've got approached to have my scream in freaking movies, you guys. But I was underage at the time, and I was a minor at a freaking or amusement park. You know, the amusement park I used to go to was Magic Mountain in LA, and I used to live in Santa Monica, and we go to Magic Mountain on the weekends. And you know who used to be there by herself? Drew Barrymore, you guys. And I met Drew Barrymore way back. She was like all of like, she might have been 10, 11. She might have been 10, 11. Okay, it was after Firestarter. How old was Drew Barrymore in Firestarter? Let me see. How old was she? How old was Drew Barrymore in Firestarter? Has everybody else's electronics been taking excessively long to upload and whatnot? Can you hear me okay? Because yeah, Mercury went direct and the shadow period is pretty much over. And I'm feeling like I have a lot of ping. My ping is very high, as my sons would say. Okay. So I was looking up Drew Barrymore's age in Firestarter. Yeah, so she was 8 in Firestarter. And yeah, and I moved to Los Angeles in 1984. Yep, sure did. And I was 13 when we moved to Los Angeles. 14? Yeah, 14ish. And so it was after that movie. So I'd say she was like around maybe 10. She might have been between 8 and 10, 8 and 11. I'll say between 8 and 11. So Drew Barrymore, yes, the one from her talk show who loves to sit up on her couch with her toes out with stars and loves to hug them and just get really close and stare deeply into their eyes. She was very kind of like that at Magic Mountain those times I met her. And like I said, I moved to Los Angeles in 1984. Firestarter, the film, came out in 1984. She was all of 8 when the film came out. And yeah, it would have been 84, 85, 86. But I was young too. So I think it was like our first or second year there. So it was either 84 or 85. Yeah, it's that long. 19 is the first two numbers we're talking about. Okay. So it was either 1984 or 1985 after Firestarter came out that I was a young kid at Magic Mountain and Drew Barrymore was in front of me in the lines. And we pretty much had the part. It was like such a low key day. Like all the lines were super short and she was super friendly and talkative and hi, my name is Drew. And she was just so fun. She was a lot of fun, but she was all by herself, you guys. She was all by herself. She did not. I was like, "Who are you here with?" She was like, "Oh, I'm here by myself. My mom dropped me off." And she was like at this amusement park by herself when we were young kids. And now that I think about it, it's sad. But then when I thought about it, I was like, "Oh, how cool." She's like, "Yeah, she gave me my money and, I just come and I hang out and then she's going to come pick me up later." And I was like, "How cool is that? That's the life." But now in her healing, she's mentioned that the absence of her mother figure was like a lot. Like it was a lot to be at Studio 54 and be the same 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year old around people with the freaking pasta in the 80s. That was good pasta in the 80s, let me tell you that. I don't know for sure because I was a child, but based on the movies and everything, that was, yeah. Anyway, I'm not condoning that, but can you imagine like that element with little kids running around at a nightclub? So there's alcohol and there's pastas and there's stardoms with all their fetishes and whatnot. And there's young flesh, the Corey Hames, the Drew Barrymores, the Corey Feldmans. The list goes is endless of the child stars. And when you think about it like that, it could get you a little like stirred, like when you think about how they're persecuting, who they're persecuting right now, when you say no, no baby oil. How about that? Um, but when there's like all this other stuff that's been going on, and one doesn't make the other right, just like for Kenya Moore, we're going to get into the Bravo reviews right now. Just like with the Kenya Moore, one alleged illegality, one alleged illegality does not in turn deserve illegality and it's something else illegal. It's like when you say turn the other cheek, that's taking it too far. Kenya Moore, hair care. She should have stuck to hair on your head and stayed away from the pubic regions. I mean, I didn't know it was that kind of spot. Kenya Moore, hair care. I didn't know it could be a re grand closing and opening at the same time. Who'd have thought? Leave it to her. I mean, it's not on brand, but she is the first or second to do something in her legacy, which now this is added to. So she started off strong, the second Black Miss USA, started off strong, and now it's ending in a spiral. And all of the times she had a chance to show empathy or sympathy or compassion, pick a kindness, pick an understanding, you know? All the time she could have extended that to Nene Leakes. During Nene Leakes, um, transition from the Real Housewives of the Atlanta. And nobody over there helped her. They all were like, whatever, you were getting paid. A lot of people still say that. And nothing to see here, folks, but they were all just about to go talk about it. And then Candy usurped them, and then blah, blah, blah. And people are like, oh, well, but those same people are like, yeah, Phaedra didn't need to pay. Heavenly should have paid. I don't want to go backwards, but we have to sometimes. So, yeah, one illegal thing doesn't mean you get to do another illegal thing, Kenya. And when I first heard about it, was from Michelle Alien in these YouTube streets. She happened to be on the spot journalism reporting live from the event. Her car is actually in the shots on the freaking episode when the ladies are in ingress and egress from said Kenya Moore hair spa. And her car is right there. So we know what she told us was already true because she was sitting there live when it happened. And now we know even further that the Trudum is there because look, it's like now everybody gets to see. And this is the same lady who like Kenya Moore hair care. She like remember after it all came out that allegedly there was a peen on a poster at her re now grand closing. Um and she was like, "Oh, I'm going to sue. That's fake news. That's this. I'll be vindicated." And then we see the episode, and I'm like, "Are you like smoking something, ingesting something, inebriated in some way? Has your mental capacity diminished to the point like we need to be concerned because you said you'd be vindicated. You swore. You still yelling, Kenya Moore, hair care. You still yelling about now Andy Cohen is ignorant? Really, Kenya? Really? You're the same woman who was like, oh, when they're done with you, they're done with you. People just need to get the message when Nene was going through it. And now you're like posting you with tape on your mouth talking about free Kenya, more hair care. And I'm just like gobsmacked that she never decided to reverse, retract, retreat, pick another lane. Nothing in her was like, wrong way, wrong way. Even after getting flowers and a contrite Brit Edie, what do you guys think? Go ahead and smash that like button, smash the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring my bell, ring my bell, so you can get notified next time I upload a video and so you can become part of the beautiful curvy community that we're growing over here in the YouTube streets. We've been on for almost 14 minutes and I see some people here that haven't hit the like button and I really appreciate it. If you did hit the like button, share the video, beat the heart, gets us in the algorithm, I understand if you're otherwise incapacitated and like unable to participate and just appreciate you just being here too. However, I was right, contrite, feeling or expressing remorse or penance affected by guilt. I feel like Britt Edie came very contrite. She showed up contrite immediately to Shamia's. She showed up contrite to Portia. She immediately owned it. And that's what you're supposed to do on these shows. You know what I mean? Like you're supposed to do some F stuff, allegedly, to a degree. I mean, we haven't had this type of treachery. I do not believe that explicit images of housewives should be the new norm. I do not want this, Sam. I am. I do not agree with peen on green poster board, ma'am. Okay. Blown up. Like, the people that even blew that up. I wonder did she take that to one of those kiosks in the mall? Do you guys have those in Atlanta? Like, where would you even go to get freaking, um, where would you even go to get poster board made like that? Did she take that to Staples? Did she take it to Staples, you guys? I don't think Staples would have made that like that. I don't think so. And if they did, they're manufacturing, from what Portia says, underage porn at that point. Let's get to that. Where'd Persia go? Persia. Let's get here. Stop sharing for being here. Because Persia said the call is coming from inside the house, y'all. So Jessie Woo had said in her live the other day, Instagram, allow. Hey, Dina the Explorer. So Jessie Woo had said in her live the other day that the posts with respect to where Kenya got her information and said explicit images or whatever from Brit about Brit Eady. And speculated that it was Ming Lee, who's seen at every group event since the season has started, along with this lady named Akila, I think. And between the two of them, and okay, so who I'm talking about are the two that were standing there when after Cynthia left. It was Drew, that lady in white, and that lady Ming Lee. So those three, right? So Jesse Wu said that Ming Lee allegedly gave the images to Kenya Moore. And Kenya Moore had her way with them because allegedly she wanted Ming to be on the show, and Britt got the spot. They both used to date Rick Ross. So why Britt and why not Ming Lee? Production did what production did. And allegedly there was going to be like, I don't know why there couldn't be two. But anyway, so Ming Lee is like, I didn't do no such thing, Miss Wu. Don't put this on me. So recently, Ming, this as within the last 24 hours, responded and was like, bitch, not me. I do a lot of stuff. I might be on Love and Hip Hop, but I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Okay. I don't know if she really talks like that, and I have no idea why I gave her that accent. But anyway, I was just making like the emphasis of her being like, oh hell no. Okay. So then Portia enters the chat. To all the YouTubers in the street, we're having some excellent camaraderie, some excellent co-creators coming to the YouTube space. Everybody is getting a YouTube channel. And like I always say, there's enough to go around. And I hope that you guys in the chat or in earshot are participating in the what's to be had of social media content creation. And I hope that you allow yourselves the space to take up space in cyberspace. Okay. And because there's enough to go around. I mean, there's a bajillion people in the whole freaking world. And as it turns out, you are one of a billion sperm or a million sperm to get it through. But did you know that when the sperm, I've been told my whole life, I'm in my whatever age I am, and I've been thinking my whole time that these sperm are going and only the strongest one survives. No, bitch. As it turns out, the womb determines which one they want to allow to get there to the egg to fertilize and start giving off. I'm going to get biological on you for a moment. Starts giving off a mucus to the other ones that it doesn't want, and that mucus only absorbs the one it doesn't want to enter the egg, the zygote stage. Isn't that magnificent? And then once she makes her selection, once the mucus is there, once the one is on its way, she makes all the other freaking sperms, the little head, the little tadpole head, makes them fucking explode, you guys. Did you know that? Did you freaking know that? You guys, I'm going to send it from myself to myself so I can show that to you too. While we listen to Portia, who entered the chat, also here on the YouTube streets, she's like, oh, if you get me to 7,000, I'll drop part two on my new YouTube channel. So she's coming in hot and strong. By the time I got over there, she was to 8,000 and had just dropped part two, wherein she says this. And yeah, in addition to Portia saying, Kenyon said, absolutely no one on the show gave me anything. Stop using my situation for clickbait, Ken says. Portia for real says, that's a lie. We talk day and night. And I personally went to the network production and you before you showed her underage explicit pics. I also went after I also went after as well because I was hurt. You had to leave. I checked on you because I cared and care. I'm not your enemy, Ken. Okay? But she did have this to say. Right now. Okay. So did you just hear that? Underage. And people have been alleging that it may have been underage. Remember, she said when she was in high school, she was a video chick. Go ahead and smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Thanks for coming through. Um, and so if any of those images were from underage, it's bad. It's even worse. Okay. Okay. The neighborhood talk is saying, neighbors, the peach tea has gone sour. If you haven't been keeping up with what's currently trending concerning Real Housewives of RHOA, then you might want to tune in. Portia and Kenya are back on opposite sides of the fence, and it's all stemming from Kenya's feud with RHOA newbie Britt Eady. If you recall, Britt mentioned owning a gun, a pistol specifically, during a verbal dispute with Kenya. In response, Kenya showed explicit pictures of Britt during her salon opening. Now, we're not exactly sure when the divide between Portia and Kenya happened, but Portia is now hanging out with Britt, while Britt's former bestie Kelly is now hanging out with Kenya. Woo! In light of Kenya's suspension, Portia just dropped a YouTube teaser where she claims Kenya received those pictures from a housewife who's still currently on the show. I'm telling you all, the call is coming from inside the house. Okay? Kenya hoped the comments Kenya hopped on the comments and denied it, calling it a lie. However, Portia stood firm and said she talked to Kenya day and night after it all went down. But what's even more shocking is that Portia claims these pictures Kenya exposed to Britt Eady may have involved underage content. During the heated moment, Cynthia Bailey was reportedly overheard saying, I want to see a girl with a dick in her mouth, which has sparked concern online. Some are now questioning whether the images could be considered explicit content involving a minor, a claim that, if true, would be extremely serious and potentially criminal. Neighbors, this is getting wild. Thoughts? No, I'm asking you thoughts. That's crazy. So I feel like Kenya already had the images from wherever she got them from. I feel like she already had them and wanted to use them. I feel like Kenya did have an edge with Britt. I feel like Britt was on to something when she was like, oh, this girl is being edgy with me for no reason. Like she doesn't even know me yet. And for it to have come out that there is a pre existing relationship with a competing friend of becoming Peach on the show. And Britt won out. I'm not sure even who even brought her on besides Kelly, who's also a noob. When does that ever happen? That the noob brings on a noob. Who brought Kelly on? I don't know. Am I not paying attention? I don't really care. So when Britt gets on the scene, I'm feeling like in true Ken fashion, she already has a dossier on the news. She has a dossier on everybody, but she particularly would gather a dossier on the news. And she might have come up with something in there that was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to take this bitch down. And then maybe my friend can get a peach from it. I think that could be true. Do you guys think that could be true? This was speculation, allegedly, for entertainment purposes, in my opinion, and everything else that means I don't know shit. Okay. So do your own due diligence research. I'm just saying, and the things that I've seen with the amount of hanging out these ladies are doing in the back and the amount of history between et and et, that some of the things could be, hey, smoke where there's fire, you know? And that's with respect to Ming Lee's situation trying to be on the show. And the Sakila girl, too. Not Akila the Bee. She's not trying to spell nothing except for everybody needs to overlook what Ken did because Britt Edie said she owns a pistol. And is Georgia an open carry state? Let's see. Like I said, I feel like Britt Edie was very contrite immediately. And she was like, ooh, that was bad. Yeah. And I feel like Kenya's lack of grace and being able to show that she evolved instead of this is like beyond regression. This is dirtier than Kenya's ever been. Okay. This is dirtier than Ken has ever been. Okay. Is Georgia open carry state? Um, is come on now. Come on now. Okay. The NRA. I'm looking it up for us to be together. They're making me click I'm 18 or older. I'm submitting. You're not asking for anything additional. Okay. So, Georgia gun laws, state constitutional provision, Article 1, Section 1, Paragraph 8. The right of people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, but the General Assembly shall have power to prescribe the manner in which arms may be borne. Um, Permit to carry, no. Permit to purchase, no. Registration, no. Licensing, no. Um, I don't know what castle is. Non-net loss, I don't know what that is. Right to carry confidentially provisions enacted. Right to carry in restaurants legal. Right to carry laws, no permit required. Right to carry reciprocity. Right to carry reciprocity and recognition is true reciprocity. The right to keep and bear arms, state constitutional provisions is with provisions. Hmm. And then it has a list of like at least 20 other states that recognize Georgia's permit. Interesting. So it says to carry any person who is not prohibited by law from possessing a pow pow or a long pow pow, may have or carry on his person as a pow pow on their property, inside their home, vehicle, or place of business without a valid weapons carry license. Isn't that interesting? Um, so like if you went to Georgia, if you have if you're from Georgia, as long as you're 21 in like Virginia and Wisconsin, they're like, "Oh, you're from Georgia, you can do what Georgia says you can do with your pow pow." Interesting. I did not know that. Okay, so that was a nice little rabbit hole. I hope you guys found that educational as far as that, because I feel like it adds to the wrongness of the claim that freaking Ken is trying to put forth. I mean, it's just not only is it not valid by any type of reasoning, because she herself brandished a weapon, showed she had the means to carry out the threat that she was making to Phaedra Park, with Brandon in the closet talking about, "Oh, I got something for bitches like Phaedra." Remember? Remember? We played the clip over here. We played the clip over here. Remember when light skinned Brandon used to come out with his green eyed self to taunt Apollo? Mm hmm. Mm hmm. Like I said, everything I say is allegedly. But it's amazing that Ken thinks showing explicit images at what she built for her daughter that involves somebody else's daughter is just like there's no. I'm like, is she having a mental breakdown? Is she okay? Is something like, did she have a schism? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. We all need somebody to talk to. I don't know. She don't have nobody to talk to, y'all, because somebody could have told her that this was not the spirit. Okay. Mm-mm. And now calling Andy Cohen ignorant, fighting with Portia, talking about it's clickbait. No, bitch, it's news, because everybody's gobsmacked. People were literally, when it first happened, I was talking about it, and people were literally getting to me in DMs talking about, "Oh no, Kenya would never. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I would never believe it. This has to be made up." Or also already knowing about the Pow Pow story. And my whole thing is that even if you say you have a Pow Pow, if you don't show it at the time, you're not scared if you wait a week and then show a dick pic. You're not scared. You at no point were ever in fear of nothing. So that means you wasted HR's time when you ran to HR talking about wah. You were wasting their time, darling. You weren't scared. People who are scared go the other way on the way home. People who are scared change direction. People who are scared are like, "Ooh, not me. I'm not knocking that hornet's nest." People who are scared don't engage in public humiliation rituals. People who are scared don't get the freaking soliloquy about $1,400 Snapchats and being a broke 304 that you yourself used to be. And it's so pot meets kettle. It's so classic Ken. And then her with her slut shaming. I am just like, oh my God, I'm so glad they got her out of here. I'm so glad that Britt Eady's lawyers, see, because from what I also hear is that Ken went to HR, Britt Eady went to her lawyer. Uh-huh. And allegedly her lawyer got to HR. And they was like, "Oh, yeah, y'all gonna have to handle that. You're gonna have to handle it. You're gonna have to handle it." Handle it. Yes. You're gonna have to handle it. Yes. And so, hey, you can go to HR or you can have your legal go to HR is the PSA in that. Yep, sure is. So, Brit's still standing and kind of likable. Like I said, aside from like her voice is high key annoying. The Nanny, I grew up on that. I used to watch that series, The Nanny, with Fran Drescher. Remember her voice used to be like this? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I need Brit to lean in more to it because I don't know. It's kind of annoying right now. Maybe if she like, so listen it, baby. But it sounds like she's not like really excited about anything. Even though I know she's gonna be like, oh my God, is this okay? Is this okay? No, it's not fucking okay. We're with you, girl. We're with you. And I don't feel like it's traitorous for anybody to be Brit's friend at this point. I do understand that in a future episode, something is going to be playing out with Angela Oakley and her husband, from what Portia also said on her new YouTube channel. And so we have, I don't know, she's like, she's a strong woman. She's about to go through it. And Brit herself is supposedly going to say something adverse about Shiloh, baby, the hearken angel Shiloh. You know how we love our chillins over here. You can't say nothing about the chillins. Leave the chillins out of it. Leave the kids alone. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Ooh, if you're gonna end up losing people because you say some F stuff about Shiloh, it's not okay, Britt. I mean, if we literally are having grace on you right now, Britt, we're literally having grace on you because of Georgia's current pow pow laws. Like, you have a right to have it, you have a right to say you have it. You did not brandish it. However, it was clear who you were talking to and everything. But like, even if I was legal, which I'm not, I would be like, she mentioned owning a pow pow. She mentioned having a pow pow and some whips. And, I maybe the investigation included research into whether or not she even had a pow pow on set that night. I mean, and then if she did, so freaking what? Croy Bieberman was at the reunion with a pow pow that time because of freaking he felt like Kim was in danger from the black people. That's why I'm like, they need to stay over there. She let her husband come over there with the pow pow because so he could like what do a popo and be like, oh, I was in fear for my life because they were walking away and he was gonna pow pow him. I'm like, what the fuck? And he didn't get into no trouble. Kim got a spinoff. So also in that vein, I can see why they let the pow pow slide because that's the whole dance over at Bravo, the pow pow slide. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Started with Croy Bieberman. Mm-hmm. Allegedly, sure did. Yep. Speculatively, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes and the word on the street. Okay. But like I said, I can see why they would let that go. But the Georgia laws for revenge P, we've been looking at them since we heard of tell of this, and they're quite strict. It's like immediate felony, you guys. Immediate. Like, Ken should really probably pipe down. Really probably pipe down instead of double down on the fact that this lady should have had any superimposed or other type of imposed explicit images without her consent gobbled up for public consumption at the cost of her embarrassment. It was like a full-on humiliation ritual, but it backfired. That's not good energy. Look, she did a full-on humiliation ritual. Usually those are supposed to get you more power. Ask anybody in the Illuminati. allegedly. Good old humiliation ritual. Hmm. Supposed to make the magic even more thick or something. I don't know. She did a whole full thing. It was supposed to make her. She was practically turning it into. Dang, that sounded like a big one. Uh, um, who is the Ursula? Is that the lady in purple at the bottom of the ocean, the octopus lady? It was like she was turning into Ursula before my eyes. Is that who I'm talking about? Let me Google that. Let me make sure. It's easy to make sure. You guys, um, Ursula. 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 What do you guys think of damn who's it's singing? Yes, her name is Ursula, the fictitious villain, mermaid, the sea witch. Ursula, the main antagonist in Disney's 1989 film The Little Mermaid, is a manipulative, tactical sea witch and King Triton's sister. She uses black magic, a sly sense of humor, and her minions, the Flotsama and Jetsama. Oh, Flotsam and Jetsam, to devise and control merfolk, ultimately aiming to steal King Triton's trident and become Queen of Atlantica. Ursula grants wishes to unfortunate merfolk, but withers them into plots for her garden if they can't pay the price. Doesn't that sound like damn Ken? Oh my gosh, she has a whole archetype. And it's called Damn Ursula. Who'd have thought? I was just like the purple's kind of what made me think of it. And I swear her hair got bigger and bigger and bigger. And it was like this, that little dust that she blew turned into a dirt devil around her as energy goes. And it was just like a tornado of just like nastiness. And she couldn't be stopped. The first poster was just like a little dirt devil. And she had time to retract. And then by the second poster, oh no, she was in a full on spiral. And then by the third poster, she was caught up in the actual eye of the tornado at her calmest. And then by the fourth and final peen poster, she had reached a fiery peak of Ursula madness, and everyone in the freaking salon was. They were caught up in a maniacal plan of revenge and hate. The revenge and hate, the public humiliation. She cannot undo the soliloquy. She cannot unrecite her previously rehearsed, bend that bitch, bend that bitch, bend that bitch. I pay you dust. It was like she was doing an incantation and thought it was going to be the other lady's demise, but it was really her demise. And the shock and awe energy of everyone in the room and of everyone finding out was supposed to add to the energy of the spell of the ritual of humiliation. Why did she need to humiliate Brit for expressing her love of the Second Amendment? Isn't that the second one? You know, I like to look it up to make sure. I'm pretty sure. Oh, look, it's listening. It has it right here for me. The right of the people to keep and bear arms. Hey, the right of the people to keep and bear arms is the Second Amendment of these here United States of America. It's the Second Amendment. United States of America. It's America. Got the right to bear arms. It's America. All right. So I don't know why she's trying to tread on her rights. I have no idea why Ken is trying to tread on Brit's rights as a citizen of these United States. The ratified constitutional amendment, 1791. Zyreed, are you doing that? Yes. Let's see. So I think it was wrong. I want to know what you guys think of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And now we're going to move on to Married to Medicine. While we go to these comments real quick, we have Dustin Butler. Hi. Dina, hey. Reality Diamond. What's good? Fallon is Brit's estranged cousin. Kenya is still friends with Fallon. So think that's where Kenya's info came from. Ooh. But Portia's saying it's from somebody currently on the show. A current housewife is the one who gave the information to Kenya, and she's going to reveal it. Kenya does everything about out of desperation. Yep, when she fails. Hey, Mamere, thanks for coming through. Dina the Explorer, appreciate you being here. Kenya has been trying to get the girl with those rings on the show for a minute. Ah, the show is all ghetto. It is. It's so freaking Basketball Wives. Hey, Dustin. Britt expresses like Mia. Yeah, Ursula is right. Did Britt actually articulate that she had a pow pow or just insinuated? She said she has come in from her bag like girls of Kenya. Let's see if we can find that. I thought we played that Britt Edie threat. Oh no. Is that because he has some? Oh no, wait. Britt Edie threat. Okay. Let's see if this is the audio. Oh no. Is this it? Like when I feel provoked, but what I don't want anybody to like was trying to. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Don't play with me, bitch. All right, you got everything's cool. Everything's good. Yeah, hello, ditzy ass. Like, bitch, we play that for the cameras. Don't play that with me. I don't play them games. Black girl magic. I don't play them games. I got whip him, pistols, everything. Play that shit in front of them cameras. Don't play that with me. They need to take this stuff. With her. Do all that fake Hollywood. No, this is real life. This is real life. This is real life. I don't play them type of games. You're gonna be respectful, peasants. You're going to be respectful around here. And if you don't know, you're going to learn today. Today is the day you're going to learn.
Oh, these bitches, I don't play this fucking. Yeah. Kenya, you riding with us? Oh, you going now? Yeah. Oh, sure. I'll sit in the back. You can drive me. I miss Daisy. I got you, honey. She just one of those type of people where she wants to keep poking and being dismissive, being manipulative. Where you go? I'm inspection. Where you been? Oh, what? Oh, yeah, she said oh. Nah, don't act like I got Poochie mama dirty toes right there. She's talking about she's for real. And she was talking about I got still got my pistol on me. This girl is a baller. She gotta go. She gotta go for real, for real. Nice. Please let her do something to me so she can go. Charles, I'll see you there. Oh, I ain't going nowhere near Charles. I don't want nobody.
So that was the audio from that night. Let's see. I don't think there's any other. So it sounds like she just says that she owns it. It's not so much that she even had it in her purse. She said, I got a thing. I didn't hear her say anything about a purse. Did you guys hear anything about a purse? I didn't. Maybe that was added later for like fun. But yeah, I felt like Britt had a point when she said that about a ring and how she only gave her a half hug from the very first day. I did notice that. And as a noob, that would be a noticeable thing, you know? Um, and we only see, like they always remind us, we only see 7 minutes of 7 hours of footage or whatever. And so if that's the energy that we got from just those few interactions on screen, what was it like behind that we didn't get to see that got left on the editing floor that was added to Britt's experience that she would finally like have mentioned it to obviously Angela even was like, can you talk to her without an edge? That was her question. And then Kelly had asked a question about Britt to Kenya also. So people had been noticing, or she had been talking to people about it. And then as soon as it came to the question, can you talk nice to her? Her whole tone even dropped down to colder ice. You know, like she said yes, but her actions was like, no, bitch, I'm not gonna talk to her with respect or like a person or not, whatever the thing was. It was like her words were, yeah, I can do that. But her actions was, I'm not gonna. So I see Britt's point. I see getting frustrated, being like, oh, I got whips for bitches like that. You know, because maybe she hangs out with Candy. Maybe that's what they do in the dungeon. I'm not sure what their kink play is. I don't know. Britt doesn't know she's a noob. I didn't never hear her say, you don't know who I am either. I heard her say, oh no, did I hear her say that? I think I did. She, you don't know who I am. I don't play with bitches like you or something like that, she said. I think I'm gonna follow this page. They only have 251 followers, but they have all the clips. They have all the freaking clips for this stuff. They have a new clip for Real Housewives too. So that's all I really want to say about it. I'm glad Kenya's off the show. I hope she twirled off the network. I hope this whole burnout, crash out thing that she's doing only adds to her lack of legacy on said franchise. Everything she's ever spoken against Nene Leakes is coming back to her, unfortunately. That's why you got to be nice to people on their way down and up because you can't just be like, oh, bitch, you got to take a note and now be calling Andy ignorant. That's like calling him racist, you know? People are like, no, it's not the same. Well, hey, one is an action that if you look through patterns, you can see, oh, that could be something. And one is an assumption of intelligence based off of actions and perceptions by the person that says it. So it's like a straight diss. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like, hey, and we all have our things. Like, I don't feel like Andy's going to appreciate being called ignorant by somebody who used revenge porn with eighth housewives all around and the content creators and cast members and be arguing with them when the whole reason you're off the show is because you went to HR, Britt went to her lawyer, allegedly. And the lawyer was like, y'all gonna have to handle that. So they handled it. And if she's only on suspension, is talking all this shit really the way to get your job back next season? I don't think so. I don't think so. I do not think so. Do you guys think so? So, yeah, now let's go on to Married to Medicine. Now, I love Married to Medicine. Now, the third episode, though, was just so, oh my God. Like, I don't know. They could have kind of combined what the guys said with this third episode, and we didn't really need three whole episodes, I don't think. And I love Married to Medicine. Maybe like two episodes and a behind the scenes or something like that. You know what I mean? But I didn't need to have a whole hour for Dr. G to sit up there and excuse away his abuse in front of other men who are actively checking him and being like, look, real men are not doing what you're doing. So we're kind of with what Dr. Heavenly's talking about right now because you're not acting like a real man. There is such a real man and there's a real not man. So you're acting like a real not man because you are sitting on here fighting for your right to cuss your ex-wife out. Like literally fighting for the right. Party. You got your right to party. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's a lot. Um, I don't really even have any media to go with the Married to Medicine closure. Let me put this back up though. I'm sharing that. I can close this. I can share this. Go ahead and smash that like button, smash the subscribe button on your way in. Ring the bell so you can get notified. Thanks for being here. Oh, look, we're at our hour. I'm gonna let this play with, let me see, go here. Well, you guys get these likes up. I have to run and get this. Now I can just let it go like that. That way. Yeah, like, subscribe, share. Thanks for being here, Q27. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to grab some water while you guys like this video. We're getting ready to get into Married to Medicine. And let's make sure it's this. Go here. Select this. Allow. Okay. So thanks for being here. And go ahead and smash that like button, smash the subscribe button on your way in. We're going to slide on into Married to Medicine. That was a little infographic on what else I do, which is I love to help people protect their assets and get their finances in a better, huh, get their finances in a better situation and protect it. I have a friend that she's like, oh, I had $2.9 million in stock value in January. And she just checked it and it's down to like 1.7 million. She lost 38% of her value in stock. She needs to not only make 40% to get back to where she was, but if there was even a gain of 40%, now she's out the 40% because she's just breaking even now. But yeah, there's that. Let's see. Is it this? No, I'm gonna actually close this if it keeps doing that. Over here. Say not now. Now let's see what are the options. There it goes. Okay. So let's get to these comments. They were finishing up. No, we're over here on Dr. G. Dr. G. I want to call him Dr. Girl, but I want to call him Dr. Girl, but I don't want to ruin us like that. He doesn't deserve that. He doesn't deserve the pleasure of being in our clan. He is such, it's just, yeah, I can't. I can't. So Ursula is right. Dirt devils are a good thing in Cree culture? It's said to be spirits of children playing with you. Oh, and it's a blessing you. How cute. Second Amendment is very important. It was written to keep the government in check. Canada doesn't have anything comparable. Oh, Brit could have said she meant she had a Zanzan axe in her purse for the girls like Kenya, right? Do you know Color Me Pink and Lakeisha Keisha? Because they both talking about the ladies and guys from Married to Medicine, except Sweet Tea and Dr. G. Watching, no, I don't know them. I've seen like them come up on my feed and stuff, but I'm not like tapped in or anything. Watching Dr. G perform was so painful. It made my teeth hurt. It's not funny, but LOL. Yeah, I get it. It was very painful. They gave him the space, and it was just like every time he opened his mouth with more poor me, with more she needs to do something first, when he literally admitted to abusing her. When she said, you suffocated me, you dragged me across the floor, and you did so much more. He said, yeah, we did things to each other. He had her put in jail, remember? That's why she has a mugshot, is because the person that's supposed to protect and provide unprotected her and provided her with a mugshot. And they are like up here capping for this freaking Google definition of what Quad said she endured at his hand. And I'm like, how dare they take Black excellence? So they're putting these doctors in a very precarious situation. I usually wouldn't say something like this, but I feel like it needs to be said. I'm positive there are some people thinking about it if I'm about to say it. And I don't mean a lot of harm. I'm telling you right now. I could pull a Dr. Heavenly and say this and take it right back. But aren't doctors required to report abuse, suspected abuse, alleged abuse? Aren't they like required to report that shit? They're not required to like invite it over for Moscow Mules and then yell at Quad that she didn't want to come over too. They're not required to like go play golf with that fool and then require that Quad can't mention her experience in a room full of others without said attacker being feeling like he's being attacked for having to hear what she went through at his hand. People are like on Quad's neck right now and King talking about they started it all, did they? So, how is a Black woman talking about the experience that she was able to overcome at the hands of a man like Dr. G? And we've seen him in action now. Now we have footage, fool. We have actual footage of a little tip of what Quad went through by your hand, Dr. G. Footage is an established pattern with footage. Every element of abuse was displayed. There were like 6 elements, and he did all 6 at the vibe check and the next day in a 24-hour period. Google it. Let me see. I'm gonna have to do it for you. I see what you guys are doing. I see what you guys are doing. You guys are playing with me. Y'all playing with me. I love playing. Um, what was I saying? Damn it. Oh, abuse. Elements of abuse. Now this is just going to go to Google. Um, okay. Oh, real quick, while we're looking up definitions, I'll come right back to, ooh, well, I fell on a threat, but we were looking up elements of abuse. Okay. But what came up first was elements of a threat. So back to Britt, and Ken. Ken is saying that she was threatened. Okay. So elements of a threat. To constitute a criminal threat, a statement must be willful, communicated, intended as a threat, unequivocal, unconditional, immediate, and specific, and cause reasonable fear in the victim. Okay? I don't feel like what Britt said warranted a threat, even. So it definitely didn't warrant revenge porn. So, elements of abuse. Okay, so abuse involves power dynamic where one person harms, controls, or coerces another. It can manifest in various forms, including physical, emotional, sexual, financial, and neglectful. These forms can overlap and contribute to a cycle of abuse. Okay. Um, Coercive behavior, it involves humiliation, intimidation, harm, punishment, scared. Remember, he scared Sweet and Sour and said he called the police or something. Remember that because she left the door unlocked. Remember that? Remember the first season she came on? Didn't he say something to teach her a lesson? He called somebody or did something. So that's an element of abuse. And he's a like mind fucker. He gets paid to mind fuck people, you guys. And so he would know this. Um, Power control, the imbalance, threatening, intimidation, isolation, financial control, emotional manipulation. Physical involves the action that can cause physical harm, hitting, kicking, pushing, or using weapons. Emotional involves verbal assault, shaming, belittling, isolating, emotional manipulation to undermine the victim's sense of self. SA involves non consensual S acts, manipulation into SA, and control. over the essay, over the sexual intimacy. Financial involves taking control of someone's money, preventing them from accessing funds or misusing resources. Neglect, failure to provide basic needs, food, shelter, clothing, medical care. Control, isolate, destruction of property. Um, they do things to make you question your sanity. Like pushing you to get angry and then saying, "Why are you getting angry?" is a form of mental abuse. Um, there are four stages of abuse in a relationship. There's a tension building stage when stress and strain begin to build between a couple just before the abuse occurs. The incident of abuse is the act of violence or other abuse taking place. Then there's reconciliation. This is also known as the honeymoon or love bomb. And then there's another calm. And then it cycles again. Um, and then it gets into freaking narcissist, of course. So, but hey, that's just what happens when you look at Google and you think about Dr. G doing what my eyeballs saw and listening to him yell in her ear like that. And then remembering what Quad went through is just so sad, you know? And it's putting us as viewers, why do we need to have sympathy for him? Why do we need to get to know him? Why do we need to have him forced on us on this TV show? He straight abused Quad and he couldn't control himself to do it again to freaking Sweet and Sour. And even has her on the stage talking about, oh, everybody's married different, or we go through things in marriage and we're newlyweds. And it's a lot of excuses going on for a lot of disrespect and allegedly abusive freaking behavior. Okay. And I don't think that we should have to see it on Married to Medicine. It's been a show of excellence. They might have their ups and downs, but it hasn't been nothing for Zeus. This is getting very Zeus-ish. Wanting me to simp. They practically want us to simp with Stevie J. That's what Dr. G is giving. He's giving me like Stevie J, he's like a different type of uh alleged abuser. He's like, but you get like he's not good for women, right? Like he like takes more than he gives, so it looks like on TV, and totally manipulates them, pits them, and he's not emotionally, he's not right, all kind of stuff. I kind of feel like they want us to like him, like Dr. G. And why are you forcing yourself? He was nowhere to be found until he got this new wife. But now he's like, oh, I want to be a part of this group. And these other husbands spent their hour on my time talking about whether or not he should be allowed to be in the group. And I feel like that was just too much talking and not enough doing. He should not be a part of the group. He needs to get himself together. And after he has like a decade of no abusive tendencies displayed, then maybe he can come back and have a tale to tell. But it's only been 5 years since he left Quad, since Quad left him, and he's still hanging on to that. It's only been 5 years since Quad left him, and he's already on to the next one, poking her with 2 times boards, yelling in her ear, gaslighting her, abandoning her, emotionally abusing her, telling her, don't make me do this. Uh-huh. Convincing her, waited till we got to the reunion to apologize to talking to her like that at the dining room table. You guys, she's been on live on her freaking channel and he's hasn't really said he's sorry over there either. I don't want them on our screen. I do not want, I do not have to, for entertainment, do not have to provide space for making, for a redemption arc for an abuser. That's a good way to put it. I, as a viewer, do not have to provide space for the redemption arc of Dr. G in this case. After what he admitted to doing to Quad, after what we've seen him do to Sweet and Sour, after the abuse of the justice system, we've also seen him engage in with pulling a Karen and calling the police for attempted assault in a different state. Really, Dr. G? That's what we're gonna use this platform for? I say not today, Satan. Not today, Neck. As a viewer, I do not condone, subscribe, or endorse to a redemption arc on my entertainment time for the likes of Dr. G. He has no contrition. He has no accountability. He has no remorse. He's taken zero responsibility for his actions completely. Aside, he can't do nothing without including Quad. He can't do nothing without including King. Everything is somebody else's fault. When he was even saying his half-ass sorry not sorry to Quad, it was because some things had happened at the office. Classic. Watch any movie that featured an abusive husband in the 70s and it was all started because of a bad day. I don't have to. I will not be viewing the show if Dr. G and Sweet Tea stay on the show. I will not be watching. And I love this is my favorite show, y'all. Married to Medicine is my favorite show, but I will not play a part in, be complicit in him making any money, making a whole new persona of himself when he can't even say he's sorry without it being somebody else's fault to a black goddess like Quad. No, nigga, it's your fault. How about that? It's your fault, Dr. G. How about that? You're a whole freaking psychiatrist. You don't tell anybody to take accountability for what they do so that they can feel better. So you tell your patients to call the police in a separate state after they antagonize, provoke, and otherwise instigate a whole other grown man. Yeah. Uh-uh. I did not like that they had a whole hour to go back and forth. I didn't like it. And then he sat up there and lied with Dr. Damon, talking about he didn't stop seeing the patients. And then Dr. Heavenly had to drop the receipts of you definitely stopped seeing the patients because of what your wife started and I finished. And then that's the other thing. Not even on the reunion do they address what Sweet and Sour does. Sweet and Sour starts the shit, and then when the people react, then she goes crying to HR, and that's what ends up getting asked at the freaking reunion. But the whole thing about how she started it, she went after Dr. Heavenly's business for like a whole month. She was trying to do damage. She was like, her Heavenly University is crap, her this is crap, her dentist this is that. I want my medical records. I want to call the people on this. You know what I mean? She broke HIPAA because she has an opinion about what I brought to a whole freaking television. It's bizarre. I don't want her or him on there. It's weird. They're both fucking weird. They're both fucking weird. And then Sweet and Sour, she's all you know how she has a YouTube. Everybody has a YouTube on these shows now. And it's beautiful. If you don't have a YouTube, you should get one. Um, so Sweet and Sour, she had been going live right after the show or right before the show every week. And so she went live this time on Monday. And her whole life was like kind of behind the scenes, how her and Greg had to be in the separate quarters at the reunion and her getting ready. And her hair kind of started off nice looking, and then she wanted it to look like Dr. Heavenly's at Bridgerton. And I don't know, it just wasn't giving. I don't know. It might have looked better if it stayed straight and silky. It was just like a lot. Anyway. And then those two horns above her boobies, I was like, ugh. And they kept making a crease on her boobs, like collapse. I was like, because of the big chested girl, I know those big chested issues. And I just wouldn't have suggested that as her ensemble, you know? Yeah. The color was beautiful. I love a seafoam green. I love a seafoam green. I came up with mauve and seafoam green in the 80s. Let me tell you, that was a beautiful seafoam green. But the actual design was like, and the hair was so. But so yeah, so her video was more about the behind the scenes there, and her and G pumping themselves up and going out there, and then um splicing in Jade, of course, at who every freaking video on her channel has been about so far. If there's 15 episodes, 13 were if there are 15 45-minute episodes on Sweet Tea's channel, I'll say 13 are at least 20 minutes of Dr. Heavenly and Quad. I'll say that. Allegedly, in my guesstimation. A lot. I was like, damn, is this like, oh my God, obsessed much? But then she cries. If they say anything back, she cries. So freaking annoying. And goes to HR. Not only cries, but actively participates in going to freaking HR. Okay? Actively participates in going to freaking HR. And I'm just like, that's shady boots. That's like her husband getting King's face and then call the police. That King almost got in his face. Yep. hmm Um, so, and then also at the reunion, I was through. Who else was through? Can I get a two if you were through with Dr. Pancakes? And when she pulled out the dead horse talking about you gave us your ass to kiss. What? Over that. Simone, is that what putting on the your son's apartment does to a bitch? It makes you pull out long dead buried horses. That horse has been long buried. I thought you was screaming at the last reunion about some you gave us your ass. The same exact vein in your neck popped out last time you were yelling at Quad about living her best life. You sounded pathetic then. You sound pathetic now. It's looking like you're super duper thirsty and like, see, so might not be sharing the liquor or is he giving you otherwise quenching for you to be doing all of this missing for Quad. Okay, it's a lot. And it's tired. I was tired. I was tired. I was tired. And then she had the nerve to say she was tired of some bullshit. I was tired. I was tired. I just want to take a nap, mommy. I want to take a nap. No, bitch, you got to stay up and listen to Quad yell some more about some shit we already took care of. I don't want to. I don't want to, please. I just want to take a nap. I'm so tired of Quad, mommy. Please. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Lord have mercy. Can we please? New rule. If all you can do for a storyline is put on hazmat suits and visit your son's apartment to clean up and bitch and moan about how dirty it is, you should be a friend of. Yeah, maybe you could be a friend of. Maybe you need some time off. Get some excitement going in your life. But how dare you The only thing you did this season was put a hazmat on and clean your son's apartment 3 times, steal their speaker, and then go back and talk some more shit and belittle them. That's the other thing. I feel like and then she got on a live. There's a live here on my archives of Simone getting on a whole live belittling Michael. I was like, damn, is he gonna cry? Like she went in. I was like, ugh. Even after he said he was uncomfortable with it, she was going in. Like she just doesn't give a fuck about their feelings. She can't help it. The same way that she didn't care that Quad was going to cry about the tragedy at her house, she didn't care that Michael was like looking like he was about to cry on this live. He went from chilling to the villain. I was like, damn, really, Simone? This is what you do for fun? But you were talking about Heavenly. At least Heavenly talk about other people. She don't get her son on live and talk shit about him. That's what the kind of shit she was talking about. Michael was the kind of shit that have a bitch coming back 3 seasons later talking about, do you think my husband cheats? Michael gonna come back 3 years later talking about the shit she was bringing up in that live. It's a lot. So yeah, that could be a new rule. Simone didn't bring anything. And then Cecil, I want to like him, but then he flip flops all over the place, just like his freaking wife. It runs in the relationship. I like that he stood up for Quad, but now he's off Quad and he's over here with Dr. G. What the fuck? Pick a side. You can't. Hey, you is that part of gaslighting too, or is this a triangulation? Like, how is Cecil your friend, but you're really simping for Dr. G too? Like, eh, it's a lot. Curtis made the most sense. He's like, Quad's had to exist over here, and she's done an excellent job. And you know, I don't know why you crying now, bruh. I have no idea why you crying now, bruh. What's good? You okay, G? We can tell you're not okay. You okay? We just asking. We don't care. And we can tell you're not okay. But we just asking so it's on tape. G's not okay. And sweet and sour, oh my God, her rolling her eyes at the 15 times. I don't know if that was right in time because you know the eighth housewife can be a real bitch sometimes. But hmm. Yeah. So what else happened in the episode? I was too through with Simone. She needs a timeout. She needs to be at the end of the couch. So there's a reason for her to yell. It's because nobody could hear you from down there. But all this yelling first chair about the same shit, and we're a decade in, and you haven't got no new yells, and it's always towards Quad with so much vitriol, and you've never taken accountability. Next year, if they do let Dr. Pancakes on, Dr. Rabbit and her bunnies, if they let Dr. Rabbit on next season, because I hear tell that Mariah might be coming back too. And if Dr. Bunny is, in fact, who put the nail in Mariah's coffin as far as production saying that she needs to be gone, then I could see Mariah not going for Dr. Heavenly and going for Simone. Like, I don't even know what Dr. Heavenly and Mariah's problem really, really is, except for Mariah never provided receipts. She better come with 2 things. If you're coming back, Mariah, we need the receipts so it could just be done because you're looking real dumb at this point. Dumb, da dum, dum, dumb. It's been like half a decade. You either have the receipts or don't have the receipts, or your husband or Dr. Damon asked you to not put them out. Somebody did something. So you shouldn't have even mentioned them because you're looking like you never had them. But yeah. So just, yeah, dead that horse. And you and Dr. Heavenly have a sit down and show you guys can get along. You and Quad have a sit down, show you guys can get along. And then take care of freaking Simone. What does she do to you? What did she did? I don't know. But that could be nice. I need if she does come back, then it needs to be accountability season. All the F stuff she's done to other people, she needs to be held accountable for. Because it came out at the reunion. It came out at the reunion that she alone decided to send Quad home. So I'm wondering, did production do that and have Quad do that? Because, I mean, have Dr. Rabbit do that? Because Quad did say that Dr. Rabbit is the traitor on the cast because she works for production and does their dirty work. So, and the ladies admitted that they were going to have a talk with Quad, but at no time did they think that she was going to get sent home, and that Simone alone was like, "We want you to leave." And they were like, "Oh, we do? Okay." You know, they were like, Simone was the one that did that. But they all let it happen. That's what I don't understand. So is Simone that big of a honcho behind the scenes that whatever door Simone opens, y'all are walking through? You guys haven't watched Traders? You don't want to go through the door with the clown. He not gonna let you through anyway. He not letting you through anyway. You need the door with no clown. Okay. Oh, so yeah, maybe Mariah's coming back. I love Dr. Heavenly. She can do no wrong. She did clarify about her husband, her son, the Damon Jr., and the whole news of something happening when it did, when he was like 23. She never found out about it. Dr. Damon took care of everything, and to the point where she didn't even need to know. And now it's coming up again. So I don't know. I feel like it has Phaedra Parks written all over it, allegedly, speculatively, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes. For entertainment purposes. Yeah. And because I'm telling you, the psychic said that Phaedra Parks in real life was trying to hurt Dr. Heavenly. And I totally believe it. And for some reason, I don't know, I could see that happening where she would, there's nothing on Dr. Heavenly, there's nothing on Dr. Damon, there's nothing on, and Dr. and Damon Jr. is technically an adult. So I could see her like doing some behind the scenes something, dredging up something. So if there is a current indictment, all of a sudden after 4 years, really, and Dr. Damon had taken care of it to the point of where it didn't need to get mentioned, that means somebody went looking for that or something, right? So if that happened, yeah, I don't know why I feel like she would be a person that would do something like that. All because she knows Dr. Heavenly has a tape of her getting cussed out up one side and down the other by what happened at the sandbar. Dr. Heavenly has video footage of that. Yes. And that is part of also why I feel like Phaedra is so specifically trying to paint Dr. Heavenly as the devil, as this, trying to disparage her character ahead of any information that could potentially come out at the proof that Dr. Heavenly has on this said tape that she's mentioned. And she said, "Oh, I would never like give it out. Like I would never show it. I would never play it, but I have it, but I wouldn't do that." So I could see Phaedra trying to preempt the public's view of a person with air quotes power over her like that, to skew them as just like, evil for no reason, when they ultimately, if they ultimately ever did release said alleged tape of what really happened on the sandbar, and how you got an excellent edit on your way off of Married to Medicine, because they didn't show that Apollo and Shireen were gobbling up Phaedra like it was the newest thruple on a sandbar, allegedly. Yeah, that's what I got from it. That's what I got from it. So I could see putting something like that around because somebody has something like that over you and has mentioned it now. And now all of a sudden somebody has an indictment when the thing happened when the person was 23 and now they're like 27. Yeah. Anyway, anyway, and plus I also believe, allege, speculate that Phaedra is the person that was like, "Oh, attempted assault is a crime in Georgia. You should see if you can press it here as a Georgia resident." And they were like, "But the action happened in Florida." So she don't even know what she's talking about in that. And then I saw a meme the other day that Bobby Brown allegedly posted a thing that was like, F Phaedra Parks. She got me put in jail so many times. She lost so many of my cases. I was like, oh, he's still talking stuff about people. That was hilarious if it was true. But so yeah, so Dr. Heavenly did say that there was in fact something that happened with the campus police that turned into something that Dr. Damon had to take care of. But the reunion, the ladies look great. It could have been 2 episodes. Um, I feel like Contessa is a professional gaslighter. She sits there, looks so nice and sweet and smiles so big. And the whole time she's saying shit under her breath. And then when you respond, she's all getting the shock. hmm She seems like the kind of person that would like literally like you're hearing voices because she's whispering in the other room and then being like, I didn't hear anything. Like, yeah, that is how Contessa feels to me. But shout out to Quad. I don't think that Quad should have to be in this group with G and Sweet Tea when she got to be in this group without them. It hasn't worked bringing them on, bringing them back, because he's still displaying the same behaviors that she endured. As a viewer, I don't want to participate with the redemption arc for an alleged abuser. Let him heal off our screens, come back with a 10-year clean track record of not poking nobody with a 2 times board or yelling in their ear or telling them that they're not supposed to listen to Quad. You're not supposed to listen to her. I told you not to listen to a whole other person. I told you not to use your ears, bitch. That's what he says to Sweet Tea. And she's like, oh, don't talk to me like that. Be quiet. No, she didn't even say, don't talk to me like that. She was like, shh, it's so loud kind of thing. It wasn't even STFU. It was not so loud. So continue to talk shit to me, but just not so loud. I was like, what? Not in my house. I would have never heard. Oh, what's on? What's on? Oh, I guess you could call me one of those assertive black ladies. I'm like, but I wouldn't have a need to because the fool doesn't talk to me crazy anyway. He doesn't talk to me crazy. Why would he? He loved me. He loved me a long time. He loved me a long time. So that was Married to Medicine. So now over on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, we're going to have another episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Um, yeah, we're going to have another episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Let me look at these comments. It would be different from Toya. Perform from Dr. G was embarrassed, him and his wife. Sweet Tea is the right woman for him because no normal woman would be okay with this. Allie from Miami's in the house. Right on. Thanks for coming through. Palaver, thanks for coming through. Yes, darlings, darlings. Yes, two. Thanks for participating, Q27. And yep. Um, I don't mind Dr. Simone, but lady's voice is screeching. You want the receipts, baby girl? In Mariah Huck voice. That was funny. Yeah. Heather stole the iconic phrase. Yeah, she did. Large, I'm suddenly getting the arrest feeds. Oh, in droves. I did not interest because yes, the CC, yes, yes. Isn't it crazy? That's what I'm saying. Like there's a bot farm. There's like an attack smear thing happening on Dr. Heavenly right now. Our freaking feeds are algorithm is inundated because I like Dr. Heavenly. I feel like I'm being fed negative Dr. Heavenly headlines by rando content creators I've never heard of before in this lane. But it's all negative, either a negative against Heavenly or negative against Quad, all negative. And I've said before that I also feel like could be part of a bot farm situation procured by none other than allegedly Phaedra Parks, speculatively. I don't know why I feel that way. I feel like calling him trash, funny looking fat, like she's just on a rampage. And everybody is trying to spin it like the ladies of Married to Medicine are mad, doing air quotes, because Phaedra left their ass. And they actually are happy because she wasn't doing nothing for their paycheck. They could like split that amongst themselves. And she was not like even behind the scenes doing a lot. But she's a lovely lady, but she didn't fit in with them, you know? And so for people to pretend like they're mad when she's the one with all the venom on her tongue for them. She's saying a lot of disparaging, not nice, defamatory things about these ladies that are slanderous. None of these ladies are trash. Is that a slander term? I don't know. We need to ask Bose. We need to ask Bozo. Speaking of Bozo, we're about to get to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So true. Kenya bash Nene for speaking up for herself. What goes around comes around. Yep, those in glass townhouses shouldn't throw stones. Larger. Yep, yep. It's on brand for Phaedra to try to destroy a castmate's reputation. Think of her accusations against Candy and Todd. Exactly. Click not interested or don't recommend. Yes, I do that all the time. And then I get another random content creator with the same bullshit for a title. It's so bizarre. Or I've clicked not interested, I've clicked do not recommend, and that shit will still come up later. I'm like, what are you have? It's like super sperm that you keep getting through. Bonjour, mon belle. Oh, I salute, mon petit. How are you? Je suis bien, et toi? I don't know how to spell in French either, girl. Toya, thanks for coming through. I keep saying this been weird. The hate for Heavenly and Quad is suspect this season. Exactly. Mamere, this is why I love hanging out with you and Lady Virgo, etc. It's so funny, ladies transmate. Yes. Right on. Um, yeah, it's amazing. It has been so very freaking and the timing. The timing was exactly when the private jet left and she was starting with the mean girl narrative. And then everybody from Real Housewives of Atlanta even was like, oh, they're mean on Married to Medicine. I'm like, bitch, how would you know? You ain't been there. Except for the person that left a liar came back and told you all another lie that they are mean. Oh, if you guys didn't know, Phaedra left a liar on Real Housewives of the Titanic. I mean, Real Housewives of Atlanta. And now she's coming back to Real Housewives of the Titanic. I mean, Real Housewives of Atlanta. A liar still because the ladies over on Married to Medicine were shady, but they weren't mean to Phaedra. I'm like, she must be paying somebody to keep saying that Heavenly did something that she said she already knew about. Amazing. Amazing. Oh, yeah. So let's get on to Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills, Hills, Hills. Garcelle Bouvet, love her. And I love Jennifer Tilly. Those are my two faves this season on Beverly Hills. Suddy Sutton was in the group, but I told you she's being a Missy Ann. Did you guys want me to show you Missy Ann real quick? I can show you Missy Ann if you want me to. Let me see. Okay. Uh-oh, what's this? Did Jennifer Williams' husband really get hit with a Rico? I don't know if I watch. I don't know if I'll watch that. You guys, did I tell you I got access back to my original Instagram? I was so pleased. Oh my God. So they did purge it of like 300 people, but I haven't had access for like 2 years, and it had like 2,300 people or whatever in there. And now it has like 1,700 people. But it had locked me out for like 2 years, and then at like 3 o'clock in the morning, I get an email talking about I was requesting access. I was like, I wasn't, but I'll try again. I mean, if you asking, let me try again, because I had already requested access, and they were like, no, bitch, not today, for 2 years. And actually, let me see the date of this last post. So yeah, June 13th, 2023 was the last time I had access to my main account. And no, August. It looks no, June. April's before June. Yeah. So June was the last time I had access to that account. And every time I went to get in, it was like, you have suspicious this. And I was like, I'm suspicious what? Let me just get back in my shit. And I had two-factor authentication on and everything, you guys. And it wouldn't let me in. And so I just created a new one from scratch. And so, like I said, 3 o'clock in the morning, it says you asked to reset your password. I was like, okay. So I reset the password and I'm fucking in. I was like, no way. Really, God? Well, thank you. Hey, hey. So if you see me in the Instagram streets, there are two of me, larger curves with one S, one word, or larger curves with two S's, one word. Either way, but I really appreciate if you guys just kept hitting me at this one here. I'll put it in the chat. It's this one at Instagram. So it's at LRGACURVES on IG. Yeah, so because I have access again, I'm so excited. So excited. Oh my God. Because you know how like you grow something and then you're like, it's like a little baby, you grow it, you know? And so I was very pleased to have gotten that back. Thank you, God. Anyway, so let's see. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. The Kyle, Corrido, Erica, and Bozo of it all. I'm just like the venom. It was like a whole episode of Porrito, old Porrito, not letting anybody else talk, yelling at them. I was like, this is what the fuck PK is talking about. This right here. This right here. This is what PK is talking about. The way you talk to the waiters, the way you talk to him. I bet you used to sit up and berate PK like this and till the veins in your neck are popping out. And then he says one word to you and you're like, oh, there he is. There he is. Oh, there he is, the real PK. You couldn't keep it away, could you, PK? I could totally see her doing that for an hour to PK after he just got good and sauced on his bourbon or whatever. And then here comes this bitch, Buzz, killing his bourbon high. And all he wants to do is have a nice little swirly feeling from his bourbon. And here she come talking to him for an hour till veins in her neck pop out, talking about, you need to know how I feel. You need this. You need that. Veins and skin and bones everywhere, just hissing at his ass for an hour, for hours, hissing, killing his whole buzz. And so he finally was like, well, is it me or is she acting like this? And so he was like, let me not have a drink and see if she's still doing this shit as bad as I think she's doing this shit when I'm drunk. So then he stops drinking. And she's still coming in there fucking with his piece now. So he knows it's not the drinking, it's her. That's who she is. She talks to him sideways out the side of her neck all the damn time and gets pleasure out of it. She loves having the last word. You can tell, even with PK. That's why he's over there, bitch. Oh, there he is. Oh, there he is. I wonder how many times she said that to PK. She poked, prodded, instigated everything Dr. G does to King. Dorit did to Sutton, and Sutton held her composure. Whatever Xanax she was on, whatever anxiety medication that Tilly was referring to was in full effect. She took 3 of those folks, but when she got on set, and she took another one before she walked on set, she was cool in the game. Nothing was rattling freaking Sutton. She didn't need a roller, nothing. She literally felt like she was on a cloud in that dress, a cloud of perpetual peace. And Sutton was just jabbing at it, snatching at it, just trying to, just anything, just I want Sutton, I want Sutton. And Sutton was just like, well, what are you talking about? What do you mean? What? Are you okay? And then there she is. There she Oh my gosh. I was like, see, bitch, you doing too much. You telling on yourself right now. This is everything PK endured. This is why he's sending you emails and don't want to talk to your ass. You started the whole reunion lying, talking about you've recently decided to stop talking to his ass. No, bitch. He recently decided to stop talking to your ass, I'm sure. I'm positive. Positive. The only people listening to your ass is your kids. Positive. Even your Consuela gets downstairs in the laundry room and is cussing you out. You talk to everybody sideways. You're all verklempt and freaking just like you just everything you said about freaking Sutton is you. You act like you're the privileged one. You act like you're over everybody. You're a fucking projection whore, Dorito. A projection whore. That's what's happening. You're projecting your whorish ways onto Sutton, all because she called you what you are. The same thing Camille called you, by the way. You didn't do all this to Camille Grammer when she called you all poor. You did not do this to Camille Grammer when she called you every time Camille comes on the show and you in a room, you're poor, bitch. And you didn't have none of this for Camille Grammer. None of it. I smell Fakey McFakerson. Selective outrage much, poor Rito? You hissed for 45 fucking minutes and then said, there she is. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. And there's another episode. Oh, but it's the episode where Bozo is finally going to be like, oh, I guess I need to say something. Let me say it against Garcelle. Garcelle, you didn't clock it. What do I need to clock anything for you for, bitch? What do I need to clock anything for you for, Bozo? You're the smartest one in the room. You be rewriting Spike Lee's scripts, bitch. What could I possibly add to your game that you would actually utilize? So I'm doing us both a favor by staying on Beyonce's mute challenge while you pretend like you know everything about everything. Okay? But now you're going to turn to me, bitch, in the 3rd episode of the reunion, bitch, and be like, oh, you called me an angry black woman? No, I said, why are you being angry to me? I brought you on this show, bitch. Why are you being angry to me? Oh, you called me an angry black woman. And now, you okay, babe? You're gonna go? Oh, right now you did? Yeah. Oh, right on. And that's what my hair is. Oh. Oh, can I have and so Bose is a bozo. Her outfit, Conchita banana outfit is given costume. She slayed all season with her fashion, and then comes this Conchita banana in a costume. The yellow tulle is distracting around your feet. I'm giving it to you, bozo. I'm giving it to you because I don't like the way you're fucking around. I don't like the way you're fucking around, Miss Corporatees Americanas. I don't like it. So you're showing me that in Corporatees Americanas style, you will, in a boardroom, put the other black woman responsible for what the white lady did in the boardroom. Is that what we're doing now? Because you're doing it on the show. And it looks like you have no problem doing the shit. So you just look around and blame the nearest black person. Is that why you hired all the black people you hired? Is so you could look around and blame them instead of their white counterparts? What the fuck? Disappointed in you, bozo. Oh, that's not enough. Okay. That's lazy. Okay, no worries, babe. And I'm just like, it's not a good look. And now you're sitting around, looking around, pretending like I need to now, as a black woman, be invested in you, who's in your swan episode of your premiere season, is going to turn to the nearest black person and assign blame and responsibility for what Missy Ann did to Garcelle Boo motherfucking Vay. Come on now. I can't. I cannot co-sign, allow, subscribe, or otherwise endorse that bullshit, bozo. You're gonna have to do something pretty miraculous for me to unsee that shit. You're gonna have to do something pretty motherfucking miraculous for me to unsee your black ass. Say you heard a white woman call you angry and look at the black woman sitting next to her and be like, oh, you didn't clock that? You didn't have nothing to say? Really, bitch? And this is right after she says she's strong. But a strong black woman would check a hoe for saying some micro, macro aggressive shit to her that she felt was micro or macro aggressive. That's what a strong one does. But a bozo bitch looks at a black lady and is like, oh, you didn't hear what she said? After doing all of your self help soliloquies whenever given the chance. Mm-mm. B is for bozo. Yep. Not, and I can see now if the comment, not all skin folk are kinfolk, was for you, I can see why, bitch. Why you gonna try to make me feel bad about that? I had to fight for 5 years in this space as the first melanated goddess up in here, and you're gonna get in here and look to me to be your fucking savior? I didn't have a savior. Work, bitch. You better pull your own race card in here. Everybody been saying I've been pulling them. You want me to pull yours too? Fuck that. No, 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 no. Bozo. Conchita Banana, Carmen Miranda. Very upset. But love Jennifer Tilly and her snacks and her candidness, talking about does Sutton have her meds? But I'm telling you guys, Garcelle has been through. This second episode of the reunion further demonstrates what I'm saying is something was going on with Garcelle this whole reunion. She came on set with like a it wasn't like calm. It doesn't feel calm, but it's reserved. You know what I mean? Like usually I feel like Garcelle is kind of upbeat and gregarious just in energy, even if she's not saying a lot. But this time her presence is kind of like Done. I'm telling you, she came in with the fuckets. Garcelle came into the reunion with the fuckets. And that's why it's going to be easy for her to walk away, is because of the fuckets. So, what do you guys think? Have you been watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Do you think that old girl is a good person for looking at Garcelle and being like, "Oh, you didn't hear what Garcelle said? What Sutton said, I mean?" Yeah, I don't know. That's a lot. It's a freaking lot, you guys. How dare she look to how dare she look to Garcelle for Garcelle to stand up for her like that? Let's see. Okay, no, I don't want to do that. So yeah, Bozo, let me see this comment right here. What are we saying? I think we concur. I think we concur. Yeah, leave it in the comments. Let's see what's going on here. I really like Jennifer Tilly though. I sure do. She was hilarious. Hilarious. Large, I'm telling you, I'm hearing your complaints from my faves on Wide Side. Interesting. Oh, really? Awesome. Okay, so because I'm like, am I the only one? I'm a micro as a macro. I know that much. A microcosm of the macrocosm. Everything that's in the ocean is in me. You know what I'm saying? Bozo, per the Lady Larger. Yep. Mask is slipper. It's unsettling to see Bo's move. It is. You might fool the pals, but you're not fooling us. Yeah, we don't like it when you move like this. We've had to endure bitches like you in corporatis Americanas before. And you are moving like the way they be moving, looking around, blaming the nearest black person for some bullshit. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. Okay. Well, you guys, let me play this real quick. And you guys let me know if you have any questions about this. I have a friend who called me and she has lost $7,000 from her retirement in the last month or so, an additional $7,000. So I was like wanting to let you guys know that there's other places where you can put monies, okay, that won't have a tax and things like that. So here we are. I made this little movie and I'm gonna let it play. Um, Actually, I can talk it through here. So you can save your retirement while the stocks are down. You should diversify is a thing. There's been a 20% decline in the S&P since 45 has become 47. This is today's S&P, another 3,900 points down. Now this currently affects 401ks like this. 100 If you had a 401k, which is basically a tax code, Google it. If you had a 401k that was valued, and 401k is an employer match program for retirement purposes usually, um, and you have it valued at $250,000 on December 31st, 2024, so right before the inauguration, with the value going down 20% with the last tariff talk for the S&P 500 specifically, if you had like a 401k at, let's say, a Kaiser, and Kaiser put half of your strategy into S&P 500, and they did the other half in traditional bonds, and that would mean that you still lost 20% of your value on the S&P side. So if it was not all tied to the S&P, which some are, some 401k strategies are 100% tied to the S&P 500. But if it was only halfway tied to the S&P 500, then what you're currently looking at is about 225,000. So it's still, you lost $25,000 just because he likes tariffs, okay? But there's other places you can move your money. Come on. There's other places you can move your money, because like here, if it was fully invested in the S&P 500, you would only have $200,000 right now in your retirement. And that would mean you need to make about 41, 42% just to break even, and then an additional 40% if that were to happen to get the actual gain. It's crazy. There's other places you can diversify, put your money, compound it. You can put your money there. You can add to it on a monthly basis, contribute to it. You'll be able to get it without penalties and taxes when you go to make a distribution. There's other places, and I could talk to you about it. There's also emotional and psychological impacts, obviously, of watching your freaking retirement dwindle, because you have to consider these types of penalties, right? So let's say you were 54 years old and you had a 401k. There's rules written into the tax code that make it impossible for you to access money without it being penalized and taxed early, right? So let's say you were 54, you go to get out some money to get a distribution early from your 401k, because anything before 59 and a half years of age is considered early, by the way, for distributions. You would have a 10% early withdrawal fee. Okay. Um, you would also have it counted as income, and you would have to, so like let's say you ask for 50,000, by the time you're penalized and taxed, you might get about 36 to 38,000 distributed. But that's your money that you put there, but they just took that all that away from you before you could get some. Because I have a client that is looking at, he just did a distribution from a 401k, but he wants to put it in some damn stocks because he knows about the push and the options and the calls and the quits and the things like that. So if you know how to GameStop it, then by all means, GameStop the hell out of the freaking stock market right now, because this is when millionaires are made, if you know how to make those moves. But if you're simply invested in the S&P 500, this is not financial advice. Even though I am a licensed financial professional, you need to do your due diligence and research and all that stuff on your own. You can contact me always. Get at me if you're in California. I'm licensed in like 6 other states too. Then we'll be able to talk about some things, but so I can point you in the right direction so that you can save instead of lose 20%. Okay, specifically with this market illustration. Now with the 401k, you can get the money earlier for certain instances. Here's a historical perspective of a 401k versus a 7702A. A 401k, like I said, is usually an employer matched savings contribution program that's deferred in taxes. The idea is if you sock away $250,000 in there, that it's going to play on the market. And after you get taxes and fees, then you're going to yield X number of dollars. Well, based on this demonstration on the past indexes of the market, you'll notice that if you had $250,000 in a 401k, it's going back far for the perspective, historical data, and it played off the market between 98 and 2020. which a lot of the baby boomers did do, okay, which is a lot of my clients. So then by the time they go to take the money out, after all of these years of participating in an S&P, $250,000, participate in the S&P 500 straight. You can see it goes up and down. These reds are when it goes down. Can I make it bigger? No. So bottom line is you'll end up ultimately at about playing in the market with the gains and the losses, which is what the 401k allows. You're going to yield about $348,000 after all of these years. So 10, 22. So that's 22 years. And all you have is a gain of what's that? 100, almost 100,000, not even 100,000. Because when the stock market gained, you gained, but when it lost, you lost. But it never gained what you lost in addition to a gain. Are you following me? Whereas if you were to, let's say, contribute monthly to something called an indexed account, an IUL specifically, a index universal life account. Yes, it's tied to life insurance. It's the only way to get the tax benefits that I'm about to describe to you. So we just demonstrated how there's a 10 of uh, at least a 25% tax rate on the ultimate withdrawal from your 401k after the gains and losses. In an index universal life account, you start off with $250,000. You leave it there for 22 years. You'll have $2,096,500 because when the stock market gained, you gained. But see, when it's lost, you don't lose. And that's specifically because of the life insurance it's attached to. It doesn't allow the loss. Isn't that interesting? Um, so every time the stock market grew, like by 25% this year, this person got $312,000. And then it gained another 18% and it went up to $371,000. But then the stock market crashed before 2008 and it had several huge crashes. But here you kept your whole principal that you can access tax free. So let's say during the crash you needed some money or a distribution from this, there would be no taxes, there's no penalties. You can withdraw it. Okay. And then let's say the market picks back up. Bam, you're right back in the game. You have another 24% gain here. So now your 371,000 grew to 461,000. What? What? And guess what? All of this growth is tax free. All of it is tax free. Inside your 401k, your growth is taxed and taxed heavily. Inside an index universal life, you're not taxed. You only have growth. Oh, right on. Come through. Yes. Thanks for coming. Would you recommend moving majority of assets to high yield savings? Yes. So he's playing with you. Yes. I personally, I say diversification, but specifically to this question before we get back to the real, I would say if part of your diversification includes a high yield savings, only have it in either a FDIC insured account or have it in a life insurance type account because those two things are insured. If you have, let's say you have $1 million in Wells Fargo and the bank crashes, they're only going to give you $250,000 back. But if you have $1 million in Wells Fargo in a personal account, and you put 250,000 in a personal, 250,000 in a business, 250,000 in a trust account, and let's say 250,000 in maybe a joint account or something like that. Those are four different account numbers, four different accounts. Therefore, each deposit up to $250,000 is guaranteed to be covered. And so they're supposed to be able to pay you that back. So if the banks crash or anything. Now, high yield savings accounts. Usually you'll get in like a Wells Fargo account or a Chase account, you might get about 4% in a super high one. I see some things online floating around that might say they'll try to get you 5% maybe, and that's really good too. Typical life insurance yields about 4.5 to 4.5 consistent percent in traditional like whole life policies. But the life insurance, these are attached to or index strategies. And so you can see these percentage rates are much higher. So if you save your money at 4% in Wells Fargo and the interest rate is 7%, did you make any money? So the higher the yield, the better your return and position ultimately. It does usually take a little qualifying to get into a higher yield account, which is great, which is all the more reason also to engage these types of accounts when you're young and able-bodied, and you can like front load them or whatever and structure them to match and pace with your earning years so that you can, like this person, let's say this person socked away $250,000 in their 401k by what, age 40. This is 22 years of growth. So that meant by the person's age of 62, they had 2.1 pretty much $1 million from having their money protected, capped, and it comes with a death benefit that's fully accessible. So that's part of why I put this reel together, was to help people, because I know he's messing with you guys. I know he's messing with everybody. But retirement is really important. You're not supposed to be working forever. Let's keep going with this video. That was a great question. Yes. So there are actionable steps that you can take to put your money into a 401k. You can use this QR code. You guys should snap that real quick. That's how you guys can get in touch with me personally. I am a licensed professional. Yep, sure am. And you guys can get at me. And I can give you guys more information on how to roll over and strategically roll out funds to a better position where you won't suffer those types of losses. Um, so yeah, and you're encouraged to be proactive, look for ways to diversify because this freaking bear attack, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. Large of my mid 20-year-old sons have been playing with Capital One and other online banking savings. I'm older. I love your take because the game sees game. Yes. Yeah. And even your son, I mean, if they're in their 20s, it's prime pickings. Oh my gosh. Prime pickings. You can totally put a little away now and it will accumulate cash faster because more of the money is going towards cash instead of insurance. That's a whole formula thing behind the scenes. Um, but as long as they're trying to get to outpace inflation is what you want your money to do ultimately. You're trying to beat inflation, right? And we know that inflation affects the value of your dollar, right? So um, if you can grow your dollar by 4%, then when the inflation monster comes with his 7%, he's only eating 3%, right? But if you can grow your money at 18%, then you still have 10 whole percent of growth. And those are the types of accounts that index universal life and fixed indexed annuities are usually tied to. Now, the markets are turning. So time is of the essence. Also, there are some tax codes coming in December. Those tax breaks that Trump did. Yeah, there's a lot of things happening December 31st. And so you really would want to have all of your money in a better position before then. Also, always have some cash on hand, please. Um, I don't know where to put it, but if Put it someplace safe in a fireproof box, obviously in California and some other places. But because if the banks close, I've been hearing about banks closing, people go to get the money and there's no money. But people are still going to want money to do business. We're not to a barter place yet. So yeah, and have like a group maybe of friends that you guys can plan on sharing resources with in times of need and stock up on, medications and whatever, because all these tariffs are going to affect so much. Stock up on as much as you can right now before all of the tariffs take effect and the retaliatory tariffs come in. Um, oh, get a water cleaning straw for you and your family. Um, if you can get some kind of solar, at least phone charger, like one of those like mini solar things, so you can at least charge your devices if the lights go off or whatever. Get a mylar freaking blanket, throw it in a bucket with some flashes, some matches, you know what I'm saying? You never know what you'll need. I'm here in California, lots of volcano activity on the Ring of Fire. California is on the Ring of Fire. I was just talking to my mom. I was like, Mom, I said, it looks like it started on the left and it's coming to the right. I said, that would mean, it's coming around the circle because Tonga had its earthquake, and then Myanmar, and then Japan, and now volcanoes are going off around the same perimeter. Earthquake activity, volcanoes, 2-foot eggs around the opening of the fucking volcano underneath the ocean. Did you guys hear about that shit? 2-foot eggs just laying about the opening of, I mean, it's like hot lava water coming out the fucking bottom of the crevasse in the ocean. And there's 2-foot eggs coming out the fucking hole, they're saying. What kind of eggs can live in hot lava water heat? Hello? Anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff. And I try to be aware, but I'm definitely not afraid. You never know the time, the day, or the hour. You just got to live a good life till the wheels fall off. Be a kind person, have love in your heart, spread joy, live your talent, shine your light. That's all we can do. There's enough to go around. Like I always say, go get some. Thanks for coming through today, Curvies. I love you guys. And I hope you smash that like button, smash the subscribe button on your way in or out. Ring my bell so you can get notified when I upload videos, so you can become part of the beautiful curvy community that we're growing over here in the YouTube streets. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for being you. Now go have a great day, you guys, because you do it. Peace.